The numbers on Algorand's Alpha Arcade prediction market are insane, but is there a new prediction market coming onto the chain? We're going to look at all that, plus the latest Algorand transparency report highlights. We'll dig into that. Some winning pitches from that came out of the masterclass that Algorand put on, and XGov now live on mainnet. But our main story today has to do with both the numbers around Alpha Arcade, because there's some very surprising numbers kind of in both directions, a few different dimensions there, plus a new prediction market. So if you guys like this stuff, please hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, whenever you don't have to smash it, you can just actually press it gently, and it works just fine that way too. By the way, we are brought to you by non-fungible domains. That's right. If you want that .algo address, that makes doing everything in Algorand so much easier. They got vaults and segments, and it's just one of my favorite things in the Algorand space. Very straightforward, and so I recommend you check out non-fungible domains in the description below. Also, we are brought to you by Marcus Aurelius. This is a meme coin and NFT project on the Algorand blockchain, spreading the wisdom about Stoicism. They are on a mission to get that done, and Stoicism is super important in my life, and they're really building. That's one of the things I really appreciate about Marcus, is it's just new things all the time that they're coming out with. So definitely check them out in the description. Marcus Aurelius. Check out both of our channel sponsors in the description. Also check out our channel memberships, because we got those starting at only $1. But let's get to the show. First off comes up the Algorand transparency highlights. Now, first off, I just love that Algorand does these transparency reports. I haven't found another blockchain that does it. Most of them don't do it at all, but actually to this degree, I think very few actually do this. So let's see what this most recent transparency report has to show. This is right from the Algorand Foundation. The Q2 2025 transparency report is out. Here's some of the highlights. Transaction volume increased by 7.5%. Great news on that. Consensus staking rose 28.7%. Community stake up 51%, and the foundation stake down 17%, which is what the goal is. As more people stake their Algorand, the foundation wants to remove its stake, thus making it more decentralized. So that's great news. And then real world assets TVL grew by 12.7%. So what they're highlighting is consistent quarter-over-quarter growth across social media channels, with notable gains on platforms geared toward retail audiences. And one of the things we heard from the roadmap recently was that they are going to focus on retail a little more. There's a campaign coming. It was one of their last minute, oh, by the way, there's one more thing, and it's called Algoland, and it's a whole campaign. We don't know much about it, honestly, but that is coming, so keep an eye out for that. Some other things not in there. Balance sheet down a little bit because they're spending. Investments stayed largely the same. Structured selling, this is something that people don't always like. Foundation sold 63 million algo during the reporting period through structured selling. The foundation executes structured selling out of dedicated, publicly disclosed wallets, uses a rules-based approach that abides by the following guidelines: a daily fixed amount and a small percentage estimated of total market volume on any given day, and they're halted if there's a 10% price drop and if the price drop below a fixed threshold, which is interesting because remember, the Algorand Foundation will say they don't care about price because they publicly have to avoid charges about a security, but they're definitely watching, and this is one of the ways to know that they are. And here's the dedicated wallets. You can inspect them yourselves if you want. Interesting here, the foundation received a $17,000 redemption from Arlington Capital, USD 10,000 investment in Algorand, that's India, by the way. Startup Tiki 10 Solutions was not completed and the funds returned to the foundation. In addition, the foundation increased its existing loan with Para by $325,000. So some very interesting things on the transparency report front, but let's look at this next piece of news. Well, these are projects originally came out of the masterclass sessions that they held. I watched the first one. It was very good. And basically they had, after some of the participants after the thing was done, they had some of the participants come back and pitch them for their projects. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of look at some of these and see what's maybe coming down the pipeline for Algorand. We got a lot to get through. And by the way, yes, I am following Algorand Foundation. It always says that I'm not for some strange reason. After a hugely successful first Web3 Masterclasses cohort, we invited 12 standout projects to pitch to judges from the Algorand Foundation. And here are the 7 winners that stood out from innovation. And these are not in reverse order. They are in actual order. So top prize was Escra, which is a blockchain-based contract execution engine that automates, secures, and verifies agreements. And I like this because built by former Kraken and BNY Mellon leads. Interesting. This is awesome because I love when these things just do stuff that is needed. It's not like flashy. It's not another DEX. We don't need another DEX. It's just something useful. You need these smart contract engines that'll make things so much easier for people. Exactly what I'm looking for. Like when I talk about non-fungible domains, it's like it's a product that you pay for that makes doing things in Algorand easier. I just like that. I like that business model. Let's see. Hybrid auctions by, what's the actual name? Mintua Lee. Regulatory ready Algorand powered auction system designed to bring transparency and efficiency to sale of state-owned assets. That's interesting. Coria's Blue, row 8, proves the originality of digital images by using cryptographic on-chain storage and decentralized metadata handling. In other words, something really important for the AI age to verify photo authenticity. And maybe, I wonder if it works on video either. Also, MedFiNet, digitizing immunization records on-chain. MedFiNet empowers secure and verifiable healthcare access for children in underserved communities. Dip Buyer AI, an AI-powered investing agent that identifies and analyzes undervalued stocks, ETFs, index, and crypto opportunities. And there's one online that I saw, by the way, but you had to enter your seed phrase, and I thought that was an odd way to do it, so I didn't participate. I downloaded the program, but I'm not going to put my seed phrase into a program. It's just not going to happen. So hopefully they have a wallet connection app versus actually just entering your seed phrases, because that's kind of crazy. The Viz Experience, a hyper-personalized Web3 platform blending music, fashion, fan engagement for next-gen digital entertainment. Well, that would be something you'd have to dig more into because I don't know what that means. This is the first one where it seems really generic, which a lot of crypto pitches do. You know, if you read any given crypto platform, it's always like revolutionizing the Web3 space for the modern age of blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's all this, it's all that kind of talk that I just think is useless. Just say what you do, exactly what you do. It's annoying. But anyway, Algo Intent, an AI-powered assistant that enhances the Algorand wallet experience with smart, intuitive support for users. So seems like an agent for helping with your Algorand wallet. I don't know if I want that. Kind of depends. I guess the devil will be in the details on that one. Anyway, some very interesting projects coming down the pipeline. And why don't we look at what is next on our news docket? And that is XGov going live on mainnet. Now, XGov is gone through some evolutions, and let's see what they got to say. This is from Adri. We had Adri Bellotti. She was on the channel before. XGov is on mainnet. This is the first release and many improvements to follow. Details on forum. So we just had the new ex-governors voted for. It was a community vote. I think John Mazzoni, as part of NFD, was on there. A few other people we knew got on, and a few other people we knew didn't get on. Well, it'd be interesting to see how this goes. Now, I've never been a fan of governance pretty much from day one. I don't like the way they do it. I've told Adri that myself, that I think it's a really bad practice to show the vote before it's finished because that influences future voters. It's just a bad practice. I don't know if they agreed. They didn't agree with me, but it is what it is. Not much to say there, but our next two items are kind of tied together, and that's why I presented them that way. First, Alpha Arcade launched some really crazy numbers. Why don't we take a look at this? Directly from Alpha Arcade, we just hit 1.5 million in total volume with an average of only 35 daily active users and 15,000 per day in volume the past few weeks. The sky's the limit. Very soon, you'll be able to make predictions with credit cards and a variety of crypto. So, by the way, I just like the singular collective on that. I say crypto versus cryptos, but just a personal preference. Got a little Polly Walnuts in the chat there. Oh, look at that. But only 35 daily active users. That's like a pretty small amount. However, $15,000 a day in volume, not too bad, you know? So I bring this up because right now, if you hold the Alpha token, and I'm not financial advice, of course, if you hold the financial token or the Alpha token, you get a cut of the winnings or the earnings that day in US dollar coins sent to your wallet. So you're not like, that takes away the sell pressure for the token, which, you know, Alpha token right now is number 3 in terms of TVL, as it has been going up in price quite a bit, 13.86%. Well, I should probably 13.86% and 82% in the last week. 13, almost 14% over the last day, going up right now. That's absolutely the top gainer in the top 10 here. 12, I think it's actually more than 10 here. And it's moved up to number 3 of all ASAs. They put Algorand on the chart on number 1, which is interesting. So I did a $100 experiment, and it wasn't really about the underlying token, but my alpha is now worth like over $200 because of the bump up in price, which is really crazy. So going back, I mean, this is pretty incredible, and it's performed so much better than most ASAs. It's very, very shocking to me. But it looks like there's actually a new prediction market coming. So what's going on with this? It's official. Poolrix is live on testnet. To reward our early adopters and Poolorians, we are launching a weekly reward program for top performers in 3 categories: overall winner, the best ROI and highest volume; consistency champ, most trades; accuracy ace, highest win rate. Follow us on Poolrix and the Discord. But yes, this is a prediction market, a new prediction market. Now it's in testnet, it's not on mainnet yet, but a new prediction market on Algorand. And I'm all about competition. I wonder if there's a big enough pool for 2 prediction markets. I guess so, probably, right? One of the things I think is interesting about this is if you have, I think a lot of these platforms, I was just thinking about this today. The roadmap is almost that you have to go multi-chain at some point. You know, like I said, if Alpha only has 35 daily users, that's a very different metric than, say, having 3,500 or 350,000, right? I think to get users eventually, they're probably going to have to build multi-chain, and that's okay, as long as Algorand itself isn't left behind. Because I think it's really rude to start on a chain and then completely abandon it, especially if you took money from that foundation. I don't think Alpha Arcade did. I'm not sure about that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I haven't looked into it. But my point is, like, I think it's going to be interesting to see how 2 competing chains do. We've seen this with DEXs where there's like 4 or 5 DEXs and the market just isn't going to support it, but they can probably support 2. So we'll see about that. Anyway, that is our video for this week. Let me know what your favorite item was in the comments below. Algorand starting to pop up as we speak again after kind of a pullback weekend. So that's nice to see. I'm getting some requests for like beginner content, and let me know if that's something you'd like to see in the comments below, and like how you might like to see that. How would that manifest? I'm thinking about doing like a beginner series to how to get into crypto, how to get into Algorand, that kind of stuff. So we'll definitely look into something like that. But otherwise, thanks for watching. I hope you are staying safe out there. I'm Frugal BC, and I will see you in the future.